Danielle is with us now with a first look at the weather, and we were going through the various degrees of weather. There's warm. That was today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's mild, and then it's really cold after that.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's exactly what everyone needs to know going forward here. There is a big cool down on the way, and I want to make sure you're prepared, mentally prepared for what's to come. Yes, we can expect February is going to have some cold days, but we haven't been very cold throughout this entire month, so it's going to be a bit of a shock to the system for many people. Okay, plus 11 right now. We got up to a high of 12 in Calgary. Gusts just over 40 kilometers per hour right now and throughout the afternoon as well. Okay, downtown, 10 degrees. And Big Four Motors, Calgary's original Jeep store and more in Tazaa Park, is at a balmy 11 for late January. Okay, so we're not going to be as warm tomorrow. It will be gusty tonight. You'll hear the wind, 40, 50 kilometer per hour gusts possible. By tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., 0. And then by the afternoon, a high of 5. So be prepared for a chillier day tomorrow compared to what we've had over the last few days. But I'm going to prepare you for the big cool down. That we'll talk about in just a little while, Ian.
So until just recently, Calgary was the hot spot in Canada. Yeah,
at 3 and 4 o'clock today, Calgary was the hottest spot, and right now Raymond is the hottest spot at 11 degrees. So in southern Alberta, we have the warmest weather in the country. And that's about to change. We're going to go from the warmest spot to mild tomorrow, and then down to downright frigid. So you know the story at this point, I think, but I'm just going to make sure you're prepared for it all. 10 degrees is the current temperature in Calgary right now, 8 in Lethbridge. This is, of course, that warmer pocket in the country. 4 degrees in Milk River, 2 in Medicine Hat, and 3 in Banff. So it's toasty out there. It's gusty out there in many areas. 80 kilometers per hour is the maximum wind gust in Pincher Creek, over 70 for Lethbridge, and around 30 for Medicine Hat. These areas can see that same amount of wind. Now we're looking at these winds continuing through these overnight hours in Calgary, and then it will start to die down for tomorrow, down to about 15, 20 kilometers per hour. So calmer winds tomorrow for us in Calgary. All right, the big story here is this. We are under a ridge of high pressure, just barely, but we are under it. And that's why we've had this warmer air. We've had the winds out of the west, everything working together to give us these warmer temperatures. This is going to slump to the south. So by Thursday, Friday, still mild, not as warm as what we've had for the past few days, but still mild. Then I'm going to advance this further. Not sure where that just went. Anyway, we're going to have that much colder Arctic air that's going to start to plunge in, and it will be here for about 10 plus days. So it's a longer term cold stretch. So be prepared for that. Okay, radar and satellite, you can see that system off to the north, central Alberta, northern Alberta. That's going to be able to make its way south because of that ridge of high pressure that will start to slump to the south. It's going to open us up to these cloud cover, the cloud cover starting to track in, and also then shortly after that, some snowfall. So for Calgary, Thursday night, we have the potential of seeing a couple snowflakes, and that could last into Friday morning. We're not looking at anything really significant from that, maybe a centimeter, so a light dusting, where we could get somewhat of a decent snowfall. Again, we're not looking at a ton of snow from any of this, but anywhere from 1 to 3 centimeters is possible on Saturday. So to just day by day here, 5 degrees as a high for tomorrow, so still mild for this time of year. Flurries possible Thursday night and into Friday morning up until about 10 a.m. on Friday. Then Friday's high -1, Saturday -8, so that's the big beginning of the cool down. And again, that's when we're looking at snow throughout the day. -19 as a high for Sunday, and we'll likely crack that -20 on Monday with a few flurries. Just to give you an idea of how long this trend should last, we're looking at the coldest of this cold trend Sunday and Monday. And then we start to move our way up, but we'll still be well below freezing for about 10 days.
So to be clear, we have one more day.
One more day.
One more day to enjoy before it really gets cold.
Yeah, it won't be like this day, but it'll be mild.
Yeah.
For end of January.
Sure.
Yeah. Because today we got to 12 degrees. And at some points today, Calgary was the hottest spot in the entire country. So we're not going to be that warm tomorrow, but we'll be mild. And I'm sure you'll take the mild before the frigid. Speaking of frigid, let's just kind of go there for a second. 5 degrees is our high for tomorrow, and around the freezing mark to kick off the day at 8 a.m. Expect a few flurries Thursday night that will carry into Friday morning. -1 is a high for Friday, -8 for Saturday with some snow, -19 for Sunday, and will likely crack -20 for a daytime high to kick off the next week.
It was a beautiful afternoon, sunny and warm. Let's bring Danielle in now. We can actually really boast about our weather today.
Oh, we sure can, Tara. Yes, earlier today when we were sitting at 11 and 12 degrees here in Calgary, we were the hottest spot in the entire country. Now, that's a couple times this has happened so far this January. And what we're going to do is we're going to go from this warm air to mild air tomorrow to frigid air on the weekend. So I'm going to walk you through all of this, but first we'll start off with, it's 9 right now. It is a little gusty. It will continue to be gusty up to 50 kilometers per hour for the evening, 40 kilometers per hour overnight. Now keep in mind tomorrow will not be as warm as it was today. So we'll kick off the morning at 0, that's at 8 a.m. And in the afternoon expect a high of 5. More details on that big cool down coming up, Tara.
Thanks, Danielle. Let's bring Danielle back in now as we look ahead to our 5-day forecast. Today was fantastic, but it's kind of the last of our really fantastic days for a while.
Yeah, we're going to go from this warm weather to mild weather, short-term mild weather, to a long-term cold stretch. Frigid weather, actually, 10 plus days of it. So before we get to the cold stuff, let's talk about today. And today it was gusty, so that's what helped get those temperatures up, predominantly out of the west. 80 kilometers per hour is the maximum gust in Pincher Creek today, almost 50 in Calgary and over 70 in Lethbridge. We can expect these wind gusts to last in Calgary through tonight, but then it will calm down for Calgary tomorrow, although this corridor will still be just as gusty tomorrow from Pincher Creek over to Lethbridge. Okay, temperatures right now, 9 in Calgary, 7 in Lethbridge, 4 for Milk River. Again, for late January, this is a very, very warm evening. Yes, it comes with the wind gusts, but it's very, very warm out there. And that's all going to change as this colder air starts to move in. So right now we're under this ridge of high pressure. That really keeps things stable and it keeps things warm. This is going to slump to the south. That's going to allow two things. It's going to allow this colder air to start to make its way in. So by Friday, Thursday, Friday, it will be relatively mild. But as we advance this and we get into the weekend, that colder Arctic air will start to make its way in. And you'll certainly notice a difference. Now, it's not unusual to have very cold weather to kick off February, but because it's been so warm for January, many people might find this a little shock to the system. So the other thing is this ridge of high pressure slump to the south is going to allow some precipitation to creep its way in as well and more cloud cover. So right now you have that in central Alberta, and that's going to start to slump to the south. So by tomorrow night and in through Friday morning, we have the potential of getting a little bit of snowfall here in Calgary. Again, nothing significant, but of course the weather pattern is changing here. So you'll notice it with the cooling temperatures, you'll notice it with wind, and you'll notice it with a little bit of snowfall. So just a few flurries expected late Thursday, as you can see by our timestamp here, 10:30 Thursday night. Then overnight Friday is when we may get a little bit of a bigger burst of snow. Again, we're not looking at anything really significant, just a light dusting for Calgary. Where we could see a couple centimeters is on Saturday. So showing you that longer range forecast, 5 degrees, so still very mild for this time of year tomorrow, just not quite the daytime highs that we've had for the last few days. -1 is a high for Friday. Again, some carryover snow into early Friday morning, and it should clear out by about 10 a.m. and then things will start to clear up. But another wave arrives on Saturday, giving us about 2 to 3 centimeters. Look at the high on Saturday, -8, and by Sunday and Monday, we'll likely be around that -20 mark for our daytime highs, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle.
Okay, the Skywatch weather camera is bouncing around. It wasn't yesterday, it is today, because the gusts are between 40, almost 50 kilometers per hour. So it's been a gusty afternoon today in Calgary. Excuse me. And we're looking at these gusts calming down for tomorrow, but so will the temperatures. So we won't get as warm tomorrow. Today we got to a high of 12. Look at the rest of the country, not even close. So yeah, we can brag about our temperature today because Calgary at some hours today, when we were at 11 and 12, we were the hottest spot in the entire country. So, and many communities in southern Alberta were the hottest spot at some point today. So southern Alberta, the warmest spot, as you can see here. And now we're done with this excessive warmth. So for tomorrow, we're looking at still mild, but not this. And then we get into the frigid air come the weekend. So we're going through a bit of a change here. All right, 9 degrees is the current temperature. The record for this day is 15.6 from 1931. Radar and satellite, you can see that system moving through closer to Edmonton. Mixed precipitation at this point. That will track south, so we will eventually get it. That will be tomorrow night, though, that we may see a few flurries in Calgary. Kamloops, Salmon Arm, we'll see some of that for tomorrow. Some of that mixed precipitation getting to a high of 2. Edmonton -3 is a high, and looking at a bit of snowfall. But again, it shouldn't creep further south in Edmonton until tomorrow night. So for the day in Calgary, Olds, we're looking at some sun and then the clouds increasing. And then tomorrow night, we get into the potential of a few flurries that will last through Friday morning. All right, Lethbridge 9, Medicine Hat, a high of 0 for tomorrow. Looking at that capital or that 10-day trend, 5 degrees for tomorrow, then -1 for Friday, which is still reasonable and a little above normal. But check out Sunday and Monday. Daytime highs in the -20. So this is about a 10-day cold stretch, with the coldest days being Sunday and Monday. Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. We're going to have lots to look forward to next year. Awesome. Thanks, Glenn. We're not really looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah. So what were we just saying? That February starts on Saturday and it's going to come in like a grizzly bear. You know, you're going to know it's February on Saturday. Okay, 5 degrees for tomorrow. So still mild, but not quite what we've had. -1 for Friday, -8 for Saturday, with a little bit of snow. And then Sunday and Monday, oh, wow, -20s really for daytime highs. So, well, that's not unusual to get those daytime highs in February, of course, but we have had such a mild January that our bodies are going to need to adjust a little bit. Okay, Weather Window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style budget and Alberta's climate. And this is from Trent Homes, Sunset near Sundre. Stunning. Thank you, Trent.
Spectacular. Thanks for your company tonight. Have a terrific evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.